Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a few of the common issues that you can find wrong with your Freightliner Cascadia. Some mechanical stuff that we're going to point out today. All right, so I'm on the driver's side on this Freightliner Cascadia. The most common issues that you'll see is usually oil leaks, right? So here on the driver's side, you'll see that you have injector lines that go through the cam housing box. We call them little football seals. Those are very common of leaks and they're easy to replace yourself. But that's one of the issues that you would normally see for an oil leak issue when it comes to over here. Then the second one would be, is your oil pressure sensor, which is hidden right down in here, just below the thermostat housing. You'll start seeing wetness around it. And I would highly recommend that you start replacing that, because what you don't want to do is have oil wicking, and that's where oil travels down through the electrical. And then you're gonna have like a lot of codes for resistance, communication issues, and that's usually where that would indicate where oil is penetrating through your electrical, right? Another one on the top right here is where your injector harness pokes through the cam housing and it connects to the engine harness itself. Oil doesn't really go through it that much, but it's the seal around the outside. Now, guys, you don't need to replace the whole harness again. You can get probably another use out of it. What I do typically is back it out, and I put this thing called, we call it grape jelly, but it's red aerobic sealant, and then we shove it through. So when it makes contact to the surface, it reseals, and you can get another, I don't know, 5 to 6 months before you really have to start replacing that injector harness again for those seals. Now, the other fun part for the oil leak is on the back of the head. There's like a little round plate that covers a gear, and it's pretty hard to see, but you can see it from, if you open up your battery box area and then look, and you'll see it's round and an oil seal is leaking. I'll get a good picture of that here shortly for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. And then the other issue is around your oil pan, right? They're always gonna be leaking on the corners. It could be in the back or the front. Unfortunately, that's just one of the things that you have an issue with. All right, now as time gets further into your truck, right? Valves start getting loose. You need to make sure you guys do your valve adjustment. You don't want to hear that tapping noise. That's just where the valves get a little loose and you're going to lose compression, maybe not enough horsepower, and then you need to do a valve adjustment. Now, the other thing with these trucks, you'll get a surging. It's where the motor revs up, comes down. You hear, right? All that fun stuff. That's a good indication that your fuel quantity control valve is going bad. Now, before you replace that, what I would recommend is pull your pre-filter, right? That's the little small fuel filter in the back. If you pull it, as long as you don't see metal, then replace the fuel quantity control valve. Now, if you see metal, you need to take it to the shop immediately before it gets worse, because unfortunately that is your high pressure fuel pump failing and you would have to replace it. The metal inside the pump is deteriorating and going through your fuel system. What you don't want it to start traveling is up to injectors, because if you don't catch it soon, you're gonna spend over $6,000, injectors, lines, flushing, a high pressure fuel pump with the boot. So if your truck starts surging, where it goes from 600 RPMs to 800 and then drops back down, just fluctuates like that, replace the fuel quantity control valve, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's a little painful to replace at first. I think the valve's around $800-900 plus 3 hours of labor, but it's a lot better than spending over 6K, I'm just saying. And then the other thing is keep an eye on your power steering, especially around the tank. On the bottom, it's just a spring clamp. Make sure you get a new one or put a worm clamp on it, because anything that's leaking around your power steering will consider be a DOT violation. You will get a citation or they could shut you down depending on the cop you run across, and make sure you're polite. Next thing would be is your water pump. Water pump does go out eventually. It will happen to you guys. Don't freak out. It's a very simple process to do. You will start seeing it on the bottom. It'll see there's a weep hole, so it'll eventually go, and then you just have to replace the water pump. All right. Now on the passenger side, we'll get some shots of that, of a crankcase filter. I know a lot of you guys forget that it exists. You should try to replace that anywhere between 6 months to 1 year. If you start seeing oil spewing out from it, because I usually get that a lot, saying, oh, my engine took a crap. No, what happened is your filter stopped working. It quit spinning, or it's just bypassing it and not going back into the crankcase. So what you do is you replace that crankcase filter, and all is well as with the world again. So just remember, it's 4 bolts, a wire connection, a gasket, and about maybe an hour of your time, because there's a little wiggling you would have to do to get out from the frame. But you're looking at the part, I want to say it's probably about $500 to $600, and again, an hour of your time. So those are the most common issues that you're going to get around your engine, you know. And again, just now I'm thinking about your coolant tank. It has been known for on top, where over time, you know, between, again, hot, cold, and especially if you don't put proper coolant in it and you use water, it starts deteriorating and it'll crack. And then these are pretty common for them to go bad as well, or at least to float inside your coolant tank as well, where the float starts filling up with fluid. Instead of going to the top, it stays at the bottom, and it says that you're out of coolant or low on coolant, even though that you know you're full. There's a good chance that the tank is bad. So those are most of the most common issues that I can think of off the top of my head on this particular truck, especially around the motor area. If you guys like what you saw today, don't forget to pound that like button. If you guys have any comments or questions, or maybe I may have missed something, don't forget to leave a comment at the bottom. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. I want to have these videos coming your way so you can learn some more.